This
Zlurpcast!
I want to do not only an introduction, but I want to put Biran on the spot. Biran is the one who's very enlightened today. He is a flight man. He is also very joking for him as roast of vectors. I know he didn't like that. I wanted to get the second mention of that in though. Biran, when we post a clip on social media of a new episode, you've got a bit of a heckler who always asks who you are every time.
Is that the guy who complained when I said too many umlauts in the name means we're not paying for shipping? That's someone else.
No, that guy is European. This one is from Canada.
Oh, God.
I was waiting for some kind of, So Mike knows him in Xtreme as Keggy McKill. I know him as Keller, the comedian. And I know that he's got, I don't know if it's like a love-hate thing with you, Biran, but I want to see where it goes. I think it's very Sam and Diane. I just want to see where it goes. Maybe we'll use this as the clip, just so we see. He probably doesn't watch the full episode. He only watched the clips anyway.
Oh, he's not a Tony type?
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Will we have a surprise episode where we both wake up in bed and we look and we see each other naked in bed? I go,
yeah, it's exactly like that one. I didn't know you were there. Speaking of watching the full episode, I don't care if you watch the whole thing. Hit play, put it on mute, and go do something else if you need to. I just want the views. That's all I'm saying. Get some Zlurpcast merch at zlurpcast.net as well. Follow on social media. Today's episode, these look like, what are these? These are knees.
Looks like you're in those stirrups that the ladies have to put their legs in at the doctor.
Why are they for ladies? Why can't they be for a gentleman as well?
They usually just bend us over the table. Yeah.
Who is they?
The doctors.
Oh, okay. I got a bunch of other days. We're talking gaming accessories this episode. What does that mean? Well, it means all the things that are on your tabletop except for miniatures and dice, right? And rule books. All the other stuff. You saw the movie The Other Guys. What about the other guys? Xtreme, he's another guy. Valdric, he's another guy. We got them both on this one. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. This is like the other stuff. All that other stuff on the table. Now, you might think we're going to spend an hour talking about those measuring devices that have like 6, 5, 4, 1, this and that. I don't even want to talk about those because I don't even like them. Give me a tape measure every day. You guys, your thoughts on those multi-measure tools? Do you like them?
Widgets? I do like them. Yes.
Is it real? What do you mean widget? I thought widget was like a made-up term for not a real thing.
It's both, but that's what they've come to be known as, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
It's a widget. Now, you called widgets like the things in Star Wars Legion. They're all widgets? Anything that's not a tape measure, is that a widget?
I would only call the ones that have the fixed measurement but are multi-use as a widget. For me, that's what that is.
Oh, okay. So a chopped off Necromunda stick at 6, not a widget.
Yeah.
No,
but if you can do your 6,
stick.
your 3, your 2, and your 1 with one thing.
Measuring stick, Xtreme? Yeah.
Measuring sticks, widgets, and I don't know, whatever else we have.
Okay. Now, I'm a former Midwesterner, so I'm still counting as one. The 4 of us are Midwestern people. How do we call, what do we say for the device that has a thing that comes out that we measure with? What is that called?
Tape measure.
Tape measure, yeah.
Okay.
Tape measure.
Online, I see measuring tape.
I wonder if that's a UK thing.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I was like, that sounds like you say pop or soda kind of thing. Measuring tape. That almost sounds like tape, like Scotch tape or bubble tape. Remember those? I took the whole bite out of it. I didn't give a shit.
Or like what a tailor would use.
Yeah.
Or a Taylor Mitchell, Xtreme's younger brother. Xtreme, is he still your brother? Quick check-in.
Huh?
Okay. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I just want to check in. Like sometimes people lose friends. I don't know if people lose brothers or not. I haven't kept up on the,
I mean, if you want to argue about politics, he's always available.
Do you?
No.
That's what we should bring into this podcast, politics.
Yeah. And, Biran once named one of our episodes, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Talking politics on the internet, how to lose friends and influence no one. That sums up politics on the internet. All you do is pick up friends and family. Enjoy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's going to be great. So we're talking about gaming accessories. I'd like to probably, we've defined it already. I think we can kind of go around the horn here. Did you bring props at all, or do you just want to talk? Do you have visuals?
I do not have visuals.
Is it possible if I brought 2 visuals for my 2? I'm happy to go. Because
I technically do. If you consider game mats an accessory.
I would. That's good.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to get to the penis or not.
No, this doesn't have a macro lens.
That's his measuring stick.
Oh, that's his widget.
But I only use that one in 6mm games.
Yeah, he folds it in when soft. That's what he does. It works. It's a widget. So I'm going to bring out my props first. If anyone wants to gather theirs, feel free. It's not required, obviously, but you can talk all day about how cool an accessory is. But we're on YouTube for a reason. I want to see it. So just throwing it out there. I'm going to start with my absolute favorite gaming accessory. And by the way, fun fact, my 2 that I have are both boxes. I'm into boxes. Death Path, great box. Hell's Highway, I don't even have the rule book for this game. It doesn't even come out yet, but the box is great. I love a good box. This right here is I consider it the pinnacle of German engineering right here. This is the Army box. This was a Kickstarter a couple of years ago. There was the MDF version. I'm like, no thanks. I'll pay a couple of bucks extra.
I'm not a hobo.
Yeah, you got to be a little more careful with it. With when you bring it along somewhere. I don't think I have maybe one small nick so far. It's not bad. What I love about this is it does a lot of stuff in it. It is called the Army box. I don't know if that's a company name, but that is their name. And you have right here on the top, you got these kick-ass kind of dials. You got mainly for 40K, but it can be used for anything. So victory points, whose turn. These 3 in the middle here, you can't really see, but they're Linebreaker, Warlord, First Blood. Those were 40K 7th edition points you got for that. So those are the only things that are a little too for one game. But other than that, victory points, turns, that kind of thing. So let's crack it open here. Turn these dials here. Let's open up.
I still do first kill, even if it's not scored. I like to think I accomplished something.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Here's the probably least used part of it for me. I used it the most in Judgments. I don't know if you guys remember when we were playing Judgment at Grognar when I was there. And it comes with little like tombstone kind of tokens to put in here. The idea would be LC, I guess, is like living character, or I don't know, some character. I don't know what LC means, but it was essentially, when I was playing Judgment, it was, if you got 8 or 6 models out there, that was what we were using to mark their wounds on there. I don't use this part very often. I'd rather just, if it's a game with cards, put it on the card or on the table itself. Inside here, little storage inside. So here are those tokens. It could be, gears, miscellaneous. Those are things that pop in there. Threw in a tape measure or measuring tape for good measure. Threw that in there as well. And then the best part of all, you've got yourself a dice rolling tray at the bottom.
With high enough sides where you could lie about your results.
Yeah, the only downside, you gotta go over top. Now, I've never had one come out. There is that. At a certain point, you guys have seen.
Well, you're a disciplined roller, though. You're not one of those spaz rollers.
Right, I'm not a spaz, but you never know. I may play a spaz one day. I don't like dice towers. I think they're terrible. I will take this over any dice tower any day.
Dice tower should be banned by the Geneva Convention.
And
everyone terrible. That uses one should feel bad about using one.
The only thing worse than a dice tower is a dice tower that has a lip high enough that you either can't read it, or the little the ending part doesn't come out enough and they get not stuck, but they just basically don't clear it. You know what I mean? And so it's always like, what is that? Like, why the fuck do we even have this for using it? So
I've played someone who will go unnamed, Anthony Sarlo, who used a dice tower to play Kings of War. And everyone that's played Kings of War knows you're rolling buckets.
There's way too many dice in that game. I think if we had to, okay, let's have a quick dice tower talk.
I don't like that. I don't like their podcast. First of all,
don't like that. No, too many hats. Valdric, do you like dice tower? I think you're a closet. Oh, okay.
I hate those.
I was gonna say, I thought you were a log cabin dice rolling guy.
Oh,
And
no.
Okay, Xtreme?
I'm using a dice tower right now to hold my phone up so I can record.
So
there you go.
it does have a use then.
Yeah.
I thought you were indicating how bored you were and you were playing a game against yourself over
You're
there.
playing single player Yahtzee.
Single player Yahtzee with a dice tower. So acceptable games for a dice tower usage.
None.
Right, none. But then there's a sliding scale if you allow it. War games are out. That's ridiculous.
Too many
it's
dice,
three dice. Blood Bowl, is that the first one that comes to mind?
No.
No?
Okay. Here's why it would for me. It's I'm already in a bad state when the people slam their shit.
I was thinking something like that. You're already pissed off at this point. So
I would say
not?
maybe RPGs, maybe.
Yeah, I guess if you're,
because a
we've also
D20
seen-
is far less likely to get stuck as well because it's more rounded.
It's true. When someone brings their own like custom set of dice to the table, and they might use a tower as well to further the dice experience. I don't care. Like that's a fucking mug full of dice, whatever. At a certain point, I just don't give a shit about dice anymore. They're there for rolling. That's it. But people that really are into dice, I think those are more likely to be into dice towers.
Well, like they have a wormwood dice case type thing.
Yeah.
But that's again
Or-
RPGs where they have the 20, the
Like
12.
a leather pouch you open up and then like your dice are in there.
Yes.
I would think that like the same kind of person, we've joked in the past on previous season of Zlurpcast about the value of Blood Bowl tournament dice, how people go after those dice and how we want to do fake tournaments, just make dice, say, oh, what a great time, just to sell them, make some money. People buy those dice. The people that are after custom dice seem like more dice towery people. Would you agree with that?
Well, in the aspect that they fetishize dice, sure.
Yeah.
But again, do you see a lot of dice towers at Blood Bowl tournaments?
I think that's where I've seen them most often. But that's also one of the few games where I've traveled to meet enough different people. And
you're only rolling what, 3 dice tops at any roll?
Yeah. For a block. I mean, that's where I've seen them at. Maybe the Blood Bowl thing that just popped in my head. When we talked about the gaming etiquette episode.
Ciao.
Do a little slamming the dice cup. I would say the equivalent of the slamming in the dice tower. Still a move by the
I've seen the throw, the fast throw into the dice tower.
Yeah, the throw sucks. Extreme.
But what I want to do is go, hey, can I use your dice tower? And they say sure, and I do the slam as hard as I can onto the dice tower to hopefully shatter it.
Yeah, that would be really cool to break a dice tower like
just go slam.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. There's a whole science with people that are in dice towers with how many things it has to hit on the way down. The whole thing seems ridiculous to me. The whole production. I've seen ones where you buy and you just assemble them real quick. You can break them down, and then it's got like, well, you got to have one here and one here and one here. Like, listen, I come from Showbiz Pizza Place where you put in the token, and it's like, oh man, that whole thing is gonna come down. I'm gonna be fucking rich. Boom. Oh, it's like right there. Don't tell me about how things move in there. I don't want to hear about it. If you got to put that much science into it, I'm over it. It's not worth it for me. Valdric and Xtreme. Aggro Blood Bowl coach, is that something you guys have seen too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They put him in there so much that sometimes they miss the dice tower, and then
go
they
clang.
got for the fucking die. And then you have to establish if one die pops out of the dice tower, do they roll them both again, or is it just the one that gets rolled? And you pull the one die out so it doesn't, because if it's a one, you may want to have it hit.
I've seen misses on the hole that's too small and then the hole that's too big. I've seen like they're so into like like it's like they're playing fucking whack-a-mole. I've seen that so much that they miss a lot. Xtreme, what were you saying about your take on it?
I don't think Blood Bowl is a good game for Dice Towers much in the same way that War Games isn't, because you have not a bunch of dice, but you have series of rolls. You have block dice, armor roll, injury roll. You have to clear that tray out, roll the dice again, clear it out, roll them again. And every time you clear it, that, like we've talked about before, I usually leave my dice on the table so you can see the roll. If you clear that out too fast, your opponent doesn't see it. Now there's an argument or a debate, or you've at least opened that door for some debate.
I've seen a big stack of dice, and they come out stacked on top of each other.
Now, Xtreme, you said you would walk away. So using a dice tower is kind of better because it builds suspense. Because you've already decided, I'm going to be a dick. I'm going to walk away and not even look at the roll.
With
For
my
that,
dice.
I mean, I think. Okay.
But the dice tower, you can't keep a secret. It doesn't work the same way as the covered dice cup.
Maybe you haven't built a tower big enough.
Like have one where it takes a good 30 seconds for the dice to finish falling.
Or have the walls be so high that, because that's what annoys me more than anything is they roll and it's like I have to physically get up to go over.
Because you're on this side of the tower and you got to get over the tower.
I might make this into a dice tower. I got to close the walls, but I've already got these in here to. Although it's supposed to be angled, right? Isn't that the rule? Because I love it. No, I love that. It's like
Wait for it.
Put a quarter in the Taco Bell thing. It's never going to land on the pads. You're supposed to land on there. So, maybe this will make it in. I don't know. So dice towers. It is a pretty well-known accessory. I'm going to give it 1 Zlurpee out of 5 if we're doing that. Yeah, I just want to check in with you guys and see if we're all, same wavelength there.
People got to make money on Etsy somehow, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of, not on Etsy, although there are versions on Etsy. Here's my second accessory that I like. So I went from my favorite, which is the German box, into my newest accessory I bought. This is for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and it is magnetized.
How's it
but you can
smell?
stack more. Not bad. Pine. So here is, this way, for 2 sheets next to each other. You can put whatever tokens you're keeping track of, damage at the bottom there. It fits in there with a sleeve, not like a top loader, but I don't use it anyway. But if you want to use sleeves, it leaves a little bit in there. Magnetized so you can stack them up. And then on the bottom of it came this part, little storage for
to hold
the
your
widget.
measuring sticks, yeah.
Yep. Check out the coolest turn marker ever, although I'm not using it because it's going to break off. So I'm kind of scared to use it. That's the downside of any of the things that you put in like this. You're always like, at some point, someone's going to bump into it. But nice. Oh, there we go. This way. Nice storage, and also keep a track of turns and victory points at the top. Then at the bottom, you got a tray here for all your counters. So I'm not really a buy and insert for a box guy. I know that's a big thing. To get the insert that fits in the box. People do it for MDF for tokens. People do it for battle foam for miniatures. I bought it one time, and it was at an Adepticon, and I believe it was who's that battle foam? The Jama, and she sweet talked me into one, and I couldn't say no.
She paid attention to you, and you went, "Oh, okay."
Correct. So I did buy one. I believe it's in one of the Underworlds box, and it fit models and tokens in there. But that's a big thing. You see online, like especially for board games with miniatures.
Yep.
I'm talking like Descent or Zombicide. Whatever. I got the box with the official insert inside. So I'm not.
I've seen it in Skype.
Yes. Yeah, Skype. Yeah.
Skype.
When I realize a game has a lot of tokens, I usually do something. This game has a lot of tokens. I did not realize that every character pack you buy has more tokens. Some of them are just, more wounds and power, fine. But some are, this is Star-Lord's winging it token. I didn't know he had a winging it token. Now we got it. So when I realize there's a lot of tokens, I usually have some kind of solution. I've used these kind of things before, a little tackle box or toolbox kind of. Those are good. In fact, that one there has a bunch of just random game things. Like each slot is one of them. But I try not to get one of those for a game, like 40K and stuff. I don't really have, because it's not really needed. You don't need it for all games. Once I realize it hits a certain amount of tokens, I'm like, and especially if you're going to actually use them. A lot of games, there's a billion tokens, but you really only use a few. Fine, whatever. The other ones can stay in a bag if we need them. But for games that actually use a lot of them, what was the one you guys were talking about? It was a newer skirmish game, had a bunch of tokens.
Fallout.
Wasn't there one? Fallout?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Fallout was so bad. It wasn't just the number of tokens, it was how small they were.
They were tiny. Yeah.
Did you guys, I mean, I don't know if you played it long enough to care about storage or no?
I had a box. It was, again, one of those little partition boxes that
like a Plano box. I think Husky is my favorite brand because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
Those are great. Yeah. In fact, I've got two of the big, I think they're Husky. They're the black and yellow ones. They get all the boxes inside. And those are all
DeWalt.
my bits.
That's the DeWalt brand. Black and
yellow. DeWalt one. Yeah. Yeah. The official DeWalt colors is black and yellow. Those are great because each one is a different army or game or whatever.
And you can configure to a double wide box if you have bigger tokens or more of a certain type. So they're very customizable.
That's right. So all my orc bits are in the two big wide ones. That's how many I have. But vehicle bits, that kind of that's a great storage.
Yeah, you go to like call that a game or whatever in the toolbox section. You get like packs of 3 for like $10 or something.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap actually.
Yeah.
Mine are big. They were like, it was like 1 for 15, but they're huge.
Yeah.
I could hold it like a suitcase, but then I think some of them it's not
those
really made.
Those DeWalt ones can stack on top of each other too and clamp together. I used it for all my what's that called? Dust.
You know, you guys didn't bring your fucking props. I got mine.
Yep, I have that exact same one.
Yeah.
Mine is red. Yes, I have that same one.
So you have the Husky brand. The Husky brand.
I got the Husky, yeah.
Worst part about it is you didn't need to put stickers on the front. You know what? Just the UPC on the bottom would have been good enough. You didn't need to like cover this with fucking stickers all over.
I know.
But these are great. I don't think they're made to hold like this because marine grenades are going to slide right through the top. But yeah, that's a gaming accessory. I mean, it's for storage.
Yeah, normally I'd be more for spending more money on stupid bullshit, but the cheap alternative works so well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's certain things where like I'll buy battle foam for models, but then sometimes like, well, this thing is huge or it's a vehicle or whatever. It's like, well, I don't want to buy one just for that. So I'll wrap it in something, put it in a box, maybe a tackle box or something that was cheap. It's almost a weird kind of like not a hobo thing, but like
you're like this miniature isn't worth battle foam.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of that. I've got some old Army Transport Sable foam. It's kind of green now. That'd be perfect for my dredball team.
I think storage, miniature storage is a accessory that we all make use of, and I consider it a gaming accessory.
It is. I didn't even think about it, but you're right. It is. I mean, everything. I mean, boxes of cards. I buy tons of these cheap card boxes.
Yeah.
Like and a lot of them have those spots to write something on there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we take for granted. Things like those card boxes, and you think like, well, I don't buy gaming accessories. Everyone does.
Yep.
At some point you do, because there's some kind of either storage or transport. I mean, battle foam and any kind of, bags and things like that. You pack stuff in an accessory. I was looking at my old Blood Bowl C4 bag, and I realized when Xtreme and I bought those, I think Mike probably bought one too around the same time. We were all buying those for Blood Bowl. Those are way thinner now than the new ones they sell. And I don't know if it's just
scale creep.
Yes.
Scale creep.
Is it because games are using bigger models? They gotta.
Yep.
Yeah. The base sizes are bigger now too. Not
like if I look at a battle foam of a unit tray, no game has units that fit in there anymore.
Yeah, that's true. There's one I have where it's an old Blood Bowl battle foam, and it's like, well, it's perfect for that because it was small bases, small models, and you fit a bunch in there. I think I put like 30 models in there, whereas nowadays you wouldn't find one. And I'm trying to think. I think when we used the C4 bags, didn't we only put one layer of models? Then we would put like the boards on top. Wasn't that what we usually did? Because you couldn't fit the puzzle boards. Now everything is mouse pad, obviously, but we had all those puzzle pieces, and which Pachow right up here. Thanks, Xtreme. I love this. I don't know how Xtreme got licensed the written consent from the NFL and the Chicago Bears to do that, but I appreciate you doing all the legal red.
They fit in the pouch if we got the 8-piece boards. The 6-piece boards did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, pro tip, battle foam, like the foam, while battle foam I think is the best in quality terms, it's not the best for certain games. Like Age of Sigmar's fiddly stuff, I would not put in battle foam.
So yeah, that's a
It's
good
too
point.
stiff. The foam's too stiff.
Sometimes battle foam is too good.
Yeah.
I've broken models by trying to store them like trying to store them properly in an expensive bag. I've broken like I forgot what it was. It might have been Warhammer Fantasy. I'm not really sure, but it was something where it was like, you know, a standard bearer, and besides like the banner, there's some crap on the top. There's a fucking chicken on the top or something for no reason. And I'm fine. When it breaks off, that's fine because I didn't want it there anyway. But inevitably, it's the storage that breaks that off, not transporting it and not playing with it. It's always, oh man, I broke a model by trying to take extra care of it.
Like I started that Sylvaneth army, and I had a battle foam for him. Like, I can't put this in battle foam.
No.
Right. Now, I haven't done this. I take it back. I did it once with Kings of War. I did the magnets on the bottom.
Yep. That's what I do with my Sylvaneth, yeah.
It was I did basically it was just a magnet sheets underneath, and I took one of those dry erase calendar type boards, and it fit on there, turn it upside down, that kind of thing. That's becoming more and more popular. I think like Judgment, people have the big models for that.
Yep.
And
that's what I do.
saw. Is that what you do too, Mike?
Well, I don't have the formal like battle foam makes that carrier that's basically just the metal sheets that come out in trays. I don't have that. I just have a metal sheet on the bottom of some storage tubs, and then
I literally have cookie sheets with my guys on.
Yeah, it works for cookies or large models. Those are great. And I think that I've seen what people, I've never bought, like you described, Mike, that it looks like a foam or looks like an apartment building in a bag.
Yeah.
Who's living on the top? Oh, you know what? You got promoted. Top floor, penthouse for you. People.
Spire gangers go on top.
Who goes on top?
Spire gangers.
Yeah.
That's the fluff, right?
Yep.
Those are pretty cool. That's a gaming accessory. At a certain point, I'm like, if the storage is more than the thing's worth,
I've done that. I've spent more on storage than I have on the models that are in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. There should almost be a mathematical equation to make sure that
it's worth it.
Try to store them is like I know you want to put a gold wrapping paper on this piece of shit, but the game needs to be worth this in order for me to spend this. It shouldn't be the other way.
Don't put D&D pre-painted models in battle foam. It's not a good ROI.
Yeah, not neat. You can put the models inside the dice tower though.
Yeah.
If they land on their feet, they survive. That's what I like.
Just wear cargo pants and fill the pockets with your models. That's what I do.
Fun fact, I actually played in it was a Necromunda campaign back in the 90s, the old game, and the guy who ran this comic book store, super nice guy, but he had this one house rule about whenever missions had you get to the top of this tower, you had to basically take it back. You get to the top of the tower. Usually it's a mission that needs you to get there because that's what happens in those games is you only climb when you have to. But when you're at the top, and if you fall off and fall in, it was like an inward tower. He put a little Dixie cup in the bottom of it. And this was his rule. I was not a fan. He falls in. If he lands in the cup, he survives. If not, he's dead. I didn't like that rule. I went along with it. If I had this was metal models back then, whereas if you wanted to do with a las cannon, you're finding one and gluing it to them, so you know it's going to shatter.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the thought was if they're dead, but I mean if they survive, they're broken too. So, but
I wouldn't do that. I'm like, no, I'll just say he's dead. I'm not dropping my model.
Yeah, I was young, dumb, and full of something.
Piss and vinegar.
Yeah. Yes. What about you guys? So we covered my latest and my greatest gaming accessory. What do you guys got?
One thing I don't like, laser pointers.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Not that I think laser pointers are cool and everything, but not if you're that fussy about your line of sight, I don't want to play you anyway.
Well, I like the linear
The
one.
line ones.
Yeah, the line one is because for Kings of War you need that. That has been essential. But that's for playing with cats and that's it. So
Yes.
Yeah. Or put it on someone's dick. At a some kind of large gathering, whatever those were. The laser point. If you're trying to do like a line of sight, seeing through buildings or whatever, it's kind of a game within a game, which I don't like games within games. Like the other one is if the dice isn't flat, let's put one on top. Now we're playing a game within a game. We're going to test our measuring or our balance ability. The laser pen is the same thing. It's like, now you're not from the guy's eye anymore. Yeah, but I'm from the model. Like, why? Like it's almost trying to solve a problem, and you'd think, well, wouldn't you want the most concise thing? But no, because the rules weren't written for laser pens in there. A lot of rules now are, when it comes, especially with line of sight, that's a big one for most of us. I would say when you read war game rules and you see, how does cover work? How does this? I always hope for I want it to be handled in like three sentences. Like, hey, if you see the base, you get this. If you don't, you get this. You see, I don't like when there's a whole thing, but those games when it's a whole, like, well, what do you see? Is it from the gun, the turret, the barrel, the hull? You pull the laser pen out. It's a game within a game, and it's not fun at all.
That's why I just go, I think I have line of sight. Do you want to check? And they say yes. No, I don't think you do. And I'd say, okay, I guess I don't. Just move on. Keep playing.
That's it. Yeah. Keep playing and not worry about it. So
then if you lose, you could say, well, it's because the guy was a dick about line of sight. I would have won.
Put the laser pen in his eye. He deserves it, I think. Mike,
well, you had a run-in with that, did you not? Dangerous lasers.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, say that again?
Didn't you ever run in with someone at in a Kings of War tournament over the use of lasers? Was that you? You were at Dragstar.
It might have been. It might have been a situation where I was like getting the model's eye view.
Yeah.
Dude blasts me in the eye. It might have been. I don't remember.
So they're just too dangerous and should be banned.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
I don't know if it was JP or someone else, but he freaked out about it. Not you, Dragstar Dan.
What wasn't it, Dragstar Dan?
Yeah. He was freaking out about lasers. It was dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Dan freaked out about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't the one using it, though.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that was that same Kings of War tournament. And Mike, you said it, you thought it's good for Kings of War. Why would you can just use a straight edge and put it at the edge of that template. Isn't that good enough?
It's easier with the light with the laser pointer, though.
You could continue the line all the way to the thing you're charging.
And you got to reach over your models to lay it down.
And sometimes there's models in the way, and
yeah,
it has its use.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Right.
But line of sight, no.
Yeah. It's mostly just for angles,
Yeah. What do you guys got as far as your accessories that you like?
The one I got off Etsy that I really like was the Warcry little dice holder.
Oh, yes, thank you for reminding me of that. I don't even like Warcry, and I got that thing. As usual. Now, admit if you're the same as me and you do this. Before you even try a game, you start buying accessories for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, why? What if it sucks? It's so stupid.
Because we're dumb.
It's so stupid. Are these the ones?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Your doubles, your triples, your bonus.
These are great. Line. Yeah, you put the dice in there, tracking your triples, quads, and doubles.
Yeah, yeah.
We ran into that with Batman, the game, the Night Models game, Batman. Ryan printed up holders that hold the unit card, and then where you put your dice, because you say how many dice you're going to put in each action on each guy, and he made these awesome little template out of 3D printed stuff, and then we used them once, and we're like, this game's too complicated.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's like getting all hyped up. You get a game, and the idea of the game compels you, not the game itself, but the idea of the game compels you to start getting more stuff, more models, more accessories, more everything. What if it sucks? Like we'd ever say that.
Yep.
We should say that. It's so stupid to buy this kind of stuff, and I'm not even playing this game. But when I got it, I was so excited. First off, it smelled great. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's gone now. But you know, when you get the stuff, it's just
Like
phenomenal. to get.
even things like tokens. Like I remember when we tried to get into Guild Ball, and it was at Adepticon, and the guy that actually created the game, I'm like, he's like, oh, what do you want to play? I go, I don't know what everything's cool. He's like, oh, you should do these guys. I'm like, all right, show me the other bullshit. He's like, what do you mean? You know, the tokens and other bullshit. I want to buy all the bullshit. And I played that game 4 or 5 times and said, fuck this game.
Yeah, and then if I recall, a bag of basic ass acrylic tokens was like $40, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And you had to peel off 50,000 layers of cellophane on each token.
Yeah. To those guys, where do you get off? Like, come on. A bag of tokens, $40. I'm no hobo, but I'll spend the money when warranted. But I don't think a bag of tokens. And I think for Guild Ball, I think I bought 2 sets, not for 2 different warbands or whatever. I think I had one for like general game tokens, and then one for my guilds.
Yeah.
And so that's 2 times probably $40 for a game I played 3 times, maybe.
Yep. And is now officially dead.
Good.
So not only did we stop playing it, the game stopped existing.
Did it stop because we stopped, or no? Do you have confirmation on that?
Yeah, we were the first one to fall, I think. It was downhill.
I thought they were like, oh, the Zlurpcast guys are done with it, so we should probably just wrap it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
On a similar MDF note, Xtreme built these for me.
Mm-hmm.
Remember these?
Yes.
These are great. Did you do the walls for me, or should I do those later on?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I try to forget after I put my time into projects and I ship them out. I've erased them from my memory.
You know what the best part? I think I did these because you know what? Here's a cool idea. Let's spray them separately and just put it in there. So now I know from the top which ones have. But this is a great. This was what was their name? Derelict Games or something like that. Dead Derelict. I don't know, something like. But they do basically like sci-fi walls. Best part about you doing this Xtreme, I'm not going to know which column it is, but one of them has like a shaky in it, and I'll never get it out. So thank you for that. It's like that.
Do you wake up in a cold sweat random nights thinking about it?
Yeah, I want to be like, one of these days.
There.
There's something in there. So those are great. Those are actually, even though I'm not really playing Necromunda, that's great if I do, but that's a good sci-fi wall for anything. I mean,
you could use it even in a 40K game. It's just
40K,
random ruins.
big bulk, anything. It's great. Yeah. So I love, kind of like we said, we had a multi-use episode. I like multi-use accessories where we can. A lot of them are specific, but I mean, I'm using that, the German box for a lot of games, even though it says command points and that kind of stuff on there. Valdric, do you have any other accessories that you're really into?
Tokens, and I love a good token. What about card sleeves?
Ironheart Artisans made awesome Kings of War tokens.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like when tokens are just designed perfectly for the game you're playing.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Their movement trays are great too because you can tell them what you want. You could say, hey, I'm not using Mantic models. I'm using Perry miniatures, and they're these little circles. Cool. Give me the size. You want them like 4x4? Or I'm like, can you do them all just like weird and random? Of course I can do them weird and random. Boom, 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 boom. And he's going to give you all of those. Alex at Ironheart does a phenomenal job. Any of that kind of stuff, especially Kings of War. Was he the one that did those wound dials we were using? Or no? Remember those, Mike?
Yes, I still have them. I think it was them.
Where I put
the
like
acrylic with the magnet in the middle?
No, these were wood. I put a dead guy on the top.
Yeah, they had the little slidey thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you had a zombie on yours. That's right.
Yeah, yes. I have a bunch of that was actually, I think, a UK company, I remember. Because then we had to pool all of them together. We're like, we're only doing this once. Who wants in?
Yeah.
We're only paying $45 for shipping one.
Right, yeah. Because the dials were $1. I remember they were $1 each, but shipping was not $1. But that was great because, I mean, even though primarily Kings of War, if you customize it, it might get set to one thing, but you can use those kind of things, especially wound dials.
Oh yeah, I used them I ended up using the magnetic ones I had in 40K for tanks and stuff.
Yeah. Adepticon is notorious for every year in the bag gives you at least one of those wound dials.
The magnetic ones, you could stack the smaller one on the bigger one, and they stick together.
Those are great. So I love those kind of
That's what
counters.
conventions are great for, that extraneous bullshit you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah. So true. Valdric, were you bringing up sleeves?
Yeah, card sleeves. What's your opinion on it?
Let's talk about sleeves. That's a heated. This is
Very heated.
This is the equivalent of talking politics with gamers. Is do you sleeve? Do you not sleeve?
Or do you raw dog it?
Yeah, do you raw dog it? I will say I am not in one camp over the other. It varies for me.
Are you sleeve agnostic?
Yeah, I'm pan sleeve. I'm pan sleeve. Well, that would be. Wait, what sleeve agnostic would means I don't care?
Right.
Well, I don't know if I want that. I care.
It depends on the game.
For me, I sleeve on the issues, not on the candidate. So
You're a policy man.
Yeah, very policy. If it's a card game, a straight up card game, where I'm going to be doing a lot of shuffling, I will sleeve.
Like Underworld?
Underworld is sleeved. Now, I only sleeve the cards I'm using. That also helps me remember who's in what's deck, what deck goes with what. I mean, because then I have boxes full of ones I'm never going to, I'm not using now. Card games. So yeah, Underworld to me is close enough to a card game that'll count. A lot of shuffling, obviously, like Super Show, those kind of games. Outside of that,
but like a board game that has lots of cards, I wouldn't bother sleeving.
So I used to be full-on sleevery for everything, and I would talk about buying accessories before you play the game. I'd be like, "All right, we're all sleeved up, ready to go. Who wants to play?" Nobody's gonna play the game. That's terrible. Or you play one time, you don't like it, and you're like, "Well, I got all these." Here's the drawback to sleeving on those board games that have a lot of cards. Inevitably, this happens every game. If there's a stack of cards, everything slides over. You have this stack like, oh, time to grab a magic item out of these 300 sleeved. Yikes. You pull one, the whole thing falls over.
Or you have a box that contains all the cards, but you sleeve them and it doesn't fit anymore.
Doesn't fit, yeah. So when I was making Death Path, I had people ask me, "Are you going to make the box big enough to the holders inside fit sleeves?" I said, "I'll ask." I should have said no. I said, "I'll ask." So then I went back to the manufacturer, and he said, "Well, we can, but just know that we don't prefer it because when we ship them, they're going to come in like, cellophane wrapped, and they're going to move around because it's not snug anymore. And now you might get damaged cards. So what do you want? Do you want to cater to the few people who want sleeves, or do you want to actually know that
Death Path, the stack of cards sleeved would be like up to here?
Yeah.
You should. There's no reason at all to sleeve those cards. In fact, if you miss one of the corners, let me know. Send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and you'll get a corner one. There's no need to sleeve. There's not valuable cards. And on that note, that's when I finally made the decision to go from all sleeved everything to pick and choose. And the usual answer is no. It's rare now for me to sleeve cards. The ones I will sleeve are like Marvel Crisis Protocol, the hero cards, because those, I'm going to be flipping them over back and forth, and I'm like, I'll sleeve that. But that's just the one card. I'm not sleeving the Crisis cards or the ones I'm not sleeving any of those. Any of those games, I don't sleeve those because my thought is I'm not dirty when I play games. People I play with usually have some level of manners. They've watched gaming etiquette. Ciao. These are not collector's items. These are not valuable cards. I'm not looking to sell the cards. So if a game gets a little wear on the cards, a little corner wear, it's not going to hurt anything. And when someone says, "Oh, that one over there," now I know, who cares? Who cares that you know one? You know when it's going to come up in the deck too? Great. You know when the lantern item is going to pop up in the deck. Great for you. Like this is not competitive poker. We don't need to have such concern over if the corner's got a little nick. Now, if you play games with people like, let's say you play at your job and it's at lunch and there's drinks and things like whatnot, you might want to be a little more careful. You might want to, I know for some games, I just, when I worked at a job with a laminator, I put some things in the laminator. I'm like, well, this is never coming out because, it's in there for good. But if the situation deems it, you might want to, but I don't care about that anymore because I'm like, they're cards for use in the game. They're going to stack better this way. I'm not spilling Kool-Aid on them. What am I protecting them for? How do you feel about sleeves?
I'm with you, where it's only if it's a card game where I'm shuffling. But even then, like, sometimes I won't if it's like, I don't really give a shit about this.
Yeah, same here.
I'm that way with Super Show because I don't swap out cards in my deck because of my play pure mentality, so it doesn't matter.
With Super Show, I probably wouldn't have been if when Xtreme showed me the game several years ago and that was the end of it, I probably wouldn't have. But when you get to the point, you say, well, I just bought a $15 card on the website.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you should sleeve it. Meanwhile, I've gotten cards from, in packs, decks, Kickstarters from them and other companies too that aren't mint anyway. So why the hell am I bothering with it? It's a weird. I'm not collecting cards.
But when I do sleeve, I tend to buy better sleeves. Like I like the Dragon Shield are my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm a Fantasy Flight only sleeve guy. I only go with those because I know the sizes they have and I know what games they go with. Now their own games, beautiful. It actually tells you on the bottom of the box what sleeves they get. But again, that's also taking you down the dark path of sleeving everything. When, I have all those cards for, Descent and those kind of games, like, now, only this many are going to be used out of this many, first off. Like, well,
any of the small cards, you sleeve them and they're hard to handle.
Yeah,
hard to handle as well. So I try to limit it. The other one I want to add on is, so card games, I'll generally sleeve, and then like sometimes, not always, a unit card or something that's going to get a lot of wear on the table. Like it's here's the game mat, here's my cards, I'm rolling dice on it, it's getting moved around. Sometimes I do it there, not always. It kind of depends, like, do I have the sleeves, do I have to buy them, whatever. So I try to avoid where I can. Biran, you were mentioning some card games you don't always do. Is there any other situations where you would sleeve?
Obviously, any game that has you marking off wounds on your character card.
Yeah, good point. If you're doing that, I mean, I love that. I mean, I was looking through my cards for Tanks the other day because I saw there's the new World Tanks game, and I forgot. Even though they give you damage in the game, I totally forgot, and I must have missed it. You got the little dots right on there. So those are great. Make sure you use a shitty pen. By the way, not every pen that says dry erase is really dry erase, I found. Mike, probably, as a teacher, you probably know. You look like a Vis-a-Vis guy, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like a Vis-a-Vis guy.
But those, we don't use overheads anymore, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but I've got boxes of Vis-a-Vis, so yeah.
Wait, why are overheads out now? Why is that?
Because it's all digital projection now.
Like, do you guys still have a screen, or just a wall?
Depends on the room, but yeah.
A lot of them are projectors.
Sometimes it's just a wall, but it's all PowerPoint and all that crap.
I'll tell you what,
I missed.
Overhead's great.
I miss overheads.
Yeah, they were great. I like to, you could do the hand puppets, obscene gestures, all kinds of fun things you can do right on there.
I like the TI-80 plugin for the overhead projector, so you could show your parabolas that you do on your calculator on this.
on my TI-82, I had a golf game on there that I would play in class, and there was no way to plug it in. So I don't even know how, how do you get, I don't know how I got a game with code in 1992 or whatever, but I basically typed it in, and it was probably basic, I don't know, and I played a little golf game on there, and those are great. Overheads are fun. That's an accessory as well, Mike.
I've seen them used in gaming situations.
I would say they could be. All right, let's put up the 40K standings here. Get the smudge it off there, put in there.
Or D&D for maps and stuff.
See that too. So yeah, I like the dry erase on cards. Always buy the shittiest ones I found. The ones that don't even make that good of a blotch. Good. I don't want it to be that bad because I want it to come off. I had ones that were I was scraping it.
Well, what you have to do is you use a good dry erase on it and use that over the stuff that's stuck. It helps it come off. Pro tip. You
know what works with a hack on that same level? I, for years, thought there was no way to get Sharpie off something. And it worked. So last year at my job, we ordered a bunch of weights, to put on the bottoms of tents for windy days, that kind of thing. I got all of them for all our stations. I was doing a service for everybody. I'll take care of the order for everybody. Put it in, got it all. I took a silver marker on the side, wrote everyone's call letters on all, that way we didn't lose them, whatever. All right, job well done. Oh, they don't fit around the tent legs that we have. I didn't measure them. Measure twice, cut once, they say, right? I did not measure them. They didn't fit. They were like just a little short. So I had to return them. Didn't want to return them with that on there. Intern comes in and goes, I'll take care of that for you. I'm like, how are you going to get that off? He's like, I got this. And so he takes a dry erase pen over the silver Sharpie.
Yep.
And some spit. He when in doubt, spit on it. That's the advice for everything. Took some spit. Yeah, took some spit right. And you get it in there, and it came right off. And I'm like, now it was plastic, so that's why I put it. It was just that was a fun fact. I wouldn't want to try that on a game.
Best intern ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. Yeah, good kid. Unfortunately, he decided I want to make money with my life by radio.
Yeah.
Wise move. So, Valdric, what are your other accessories? You talk about sleeving and where that comes into play. Are there other accessories you're into?
No, we covered most of them. I do like a good storage box for tokens. I do like tokens. I do tend to sleeve unless you have to make a big stack.
Where do you guys stand on dice bags? Crown Royal or bust?
I've got an Imperial, the Aquila, if you will, or Aquila, depending on where you're from. I've got it big from Etsy. I think it was like $25. It's a big dice bag. It's got a shit ton of dice and even counters in there. I love that. That's my only one. I don't need a dice bag for other games, but what I've found in 40K, especially after playing Orcs, I like the idea of taking a dice bag that's got a nice cinch on it. I can tie that in my battle foam bag. So I got my battle foam bag, everything's in there, and then off to the side is my little sack, little kangaroo.
Just hang in there.
Kangaroo
bag. Strap is here and your sack is here.
Speaking of that, who was it in Blood Bowl that someone had a kangaroo nutsack dice bag? Who had that?
Oh, that was Saul, I think.
Was it Saul or was it Sean Morpheus?
Yes.
Nutsack isn't that big. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't know how big a kangaroo's nutsack is.
Wait, Mike, I know you're a man of science, but
no, my dad, when he went to Australia, brought me back a kangaroo nutsack bag. So.
Is it from a child? A Joey?
Joey?
Yeah, Joey? Yeah.
Are you sure it's kangaroo and he's not a serial killer and it's a human nutsack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't his first his first son, Mike, like that you never met. This was his nutsack. I want you to have it. What do you guys think about dice bags? Are you into them?
No.
I want to say I was, but I always end up like just throwing other shit in there, like counters and stuff, and it becomes a mess.
That's what happens to me all the time, yeah. Get some light in here.
But I also need two because I want one that's just D6s and one for the other dice bullshit when I used to play D&D and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I end up throwing a few counters in mine, but for the
then you have to end up dumping the whole thing out to get at them.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want a counter bag as well?
No, I want to be able to see my counters.
Yeah, that's what the little toolkit is for.
So between
but I bought one just 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
Because Judge Dredd uses random activation with counters.
Yeah.
And I needed one to hold the counters in for people.
Right. When I got the new 40K box set, they gave me a dice bag or a bag with the new counters in it. It's got the little. It's okay. It's really shittily made. If you're into dice bags, definitely check out Etsy because I saw one the other day. It was an orky one with like metal on the side of it. It was like, it looked like it was made by an orc. Like it was like, it had like the glyphs in the side and like, I mean, you could kill somebody. If you put that like your fist in that thing and punt, that's like the blood sport, that's what get you out of a jam.
It doubles as a power claw.
When needed. Yeah, when needed. Someone gets out of line. Take them
out. Over at Grogdar Games in Roswell, Illinois.
Roswell.
He's got some crafty lady that sells homemade dice bags and also masks for, Yeah. And some are pretty good. I might actually get one.
Yeah. I'd be like
a dice bag or a mask?
Dice bag. The mask, my head's so big that most masks don't fit.
Yeah, that's true. You need like a proper Bane mask.
Yeah. You feel in charge.
I knew you were going to do the voice. That's why the only reason why I said it. I just knew it was coming. Xtreme, where are you at with accessories? What do you like?
Well, are we wrapping this thing up here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. Why don't you close it up?
Excellent. I am a sucker for accessories. As soon as I get into a game, I tend to go overboard on my accessories. I like acrylic tokens.
Oh, yeah.
So I buy tons of them. I sleeve almost everything. So then invariably 2 weeks later, when I'm done with the game, I get to sell it all off for next to nothing, and you get free sleeves. And
So you don't even, like what I've done is I'm like, well, I don't need to sleeve this. I then repurpose them. You say, you know what, it goes with the game.
yeah, because usually, I mean, well, like, what was last? All my Game of Thrones stuff for the miniatures game, I got all the different size sleeves for everything. I'm never going to use those little sleeves ever again, so I just went with the game.
With sleeves, that's why I always buy the same, well, for standard, let's say standard card size, but the same standard card size, I always buy Dragon Shield Clear, because there's nothing worse than being a sleeve short and all your sleeves are different colors.
One sleeve short. Story of my life. Xtreme.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, you needed 52 sleeves, and the packs only come in 50s. So yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Well, every character you added had their own, if they're a leader, had their own new set of
Yeah.
tactics that went with them.
Cards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Xtreme, you mentioned acrylic tokens. One of my pet peeves with that is I do like acrylic tokens too, but I hate when the acrylic token quality doesn't look as good as the cardboard one. Like these are acrylic. Yeah, but it's just this yellow token with a little dot in the middle. The cardboard one actually has cool art on it.
they got to be themed. They have to be themed properly for me to be interested.
Most of the time, I end up defaulting to the cardboard just because I'm usually more happy with it.
But some
Yeah,
are really outstanding. Also, big War Machine player, was it Ironheart that made a bunch of awesome acrylic tokens for War Machine with awesome art on them?
Nope, but that's where I was going. Muse on Minis.
That's what. Yeah.
They're the ones that made the Guild Ball ones that you were talking about that were horribly overpriced but have like full art on them.
Yep.
So I buy the big army pack for I think $60, and then as soon as there's some new models, I have to do the update pack for another $15. Well, I need the mercs that work for my armory. There's another $25. I probably have $300 in tokens for my War Machine army.
That you couldn't sell for $300.
I think now those are. What's their connection to Privateer Press? Use on Minis.
I believe they were officially licensed.
Okay, so everyone jokes about Games Workshop fanboys. Now they got you by the balls. You know, there's other companies out there where they have things that you get suckered into buying. I'm not saying. I mean, GW is expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's one model's $40. One tank is $100. That's not cool. However, Xtreme story of all these tokens. It's like, if I'm going to blow money, I'd rather have it blown on models than expensive accessories,
The counter argument is going to be that, well, you didn't have to buy those tokens. They have the standard tokens that come with your thing. You just get one pack and a dry erase marker, and you write on the token whatever you want it to be.
But then you're like, do you know gamers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the cool token. I don't want the one I have to write on every time.
How dare you release something and not force me to get it, but ultimately I'm forced anyway? How dare you?
Well, it's like video game microtransactions for cosmetics. It's like that's exploitive. Like you don't need that cosmetic. It's just cosmetic. No, I need it.
No, I have to have purple shoes on my guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I need that, but I need that. Xtreme, outside of tokens, you got any like weird kind of things, kind of like my boxes?
I don't know if I have anything weird. Kind of what you were talking about, where you with the war cry thing that you got, where you got that before you get into the game. I'm really guilty of going a step further and contacting Ironheart and having like custom stuff done for a game that I just got into, and then I get out of it. I spent $150 on this cool. Like I'm probably going to throw it away. I have this awesome tournament tray from Montauk I used in one tournament, and I don't. Unless someone local comes to get it, I'm not going to ship it anywhere. It's just going to go in the trash.
Have you ever stopped the game before you got that accessory you're talking about? Like it's like because it's doing custom orders, so it takes them a little bit of time to customize it. It's like, all right, Brian, ready to ship it out to you.
No, stop the order.
It's like,
He's
well,
really
you
fast,
ordered
though.
it custom. Yeah, I don't play it anymore.
Yeah, you can return it. It just has a 100% restocking fee.
Not
Okay.
from him, because his turnaround is incredibly fast. But like Kickstarter stuff, of course, like almost every Kickstarter I have is regret, which I think we'll get to in a later episode.
I think in our next episode, my cover regrets. No
Future
regular.
Pachow.
Yeah.
But keeping it on this, any Kickstarter that has the acrylic token upgrade, instantly that's going
yeah,
and
totally.
added to my footage.
Why is that even
100%
an option? It's auto include.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, it's just one. I think Kickstarters are notorious for getting you suckered into accessories. You mentioned the Game of Thrones game. I don't know if you guys did the Kickstarter on it, but when I did it, I'm like, well, when you unit activations, most games you either throw a token on or do nothing and just remember. These had like Stark and Lannister flags you put in. And I'm like, how do I not fucking buy those? Meanwhile, they don't store anywhere properly. They fall off. They're getting away on the table. I knock them over on the table. There's no reason those should be on the table at all. Maybe like an objective, but for their purpose, marking when he's activated. But I had to have them in the Kickstarter because it was on the fucking screen.
Because all gamers are on the spectrum.
Right. We all are. I think if you are not only a gamer, but a Kickstarter user and a gamer, you got to have a little Asperger's. That's enough just to say, I got it all. Do you have, what's the sweet spot? What's the all-in? No, ask to buy the game only. Well, why? No one would do that. Look, there's 1,000 people that back the all-in. Only 20 people back the game. Yeah, those are smart 20 people. You should find the lowest level that's one above a tip jar. You know, just give me the game. Fucking PDF book, whatever. Give me the game. We always go for the big one. And you don't realize, what if it sucks? Or what if it's good, you just still don't play it for other reasons? You know, like in our gaming clubs, champion in the game episodes, pachow. There's other reasons you don't play a game. It doesn't always have to suck to not play. It could just be, you know, how many games Xtreme do you get into that you like it, but no one wants to play it? That happens all the time.
Of them.
Oh.
Yeah, we still spend $200 or more on a Kickstarter of a game we have no fucking clue if it's going to be played or not. That's insane. We're all insane for that.
That's kind of half the fun, though.
Yeah, you watching right now, you're insane. You're a crazy person for the stuff you do like that. And that's part of the fun? Biran? Really?
It is. We are not well.
No, we're not. I wish there was a Kickstarter tier that comes with therapy. Like that should.
There should be a fake Kickstarter that like your spouse can set up where you pledge something and it doesn't actually go anywhere. You wouldn't know
because you're going to forget
a year and a
about
half
it anyway. So
we'll get to that in regrets.
Like a counter Kickstarter where for every Kickstarter you do, they get notified and they do one for equal value. So no money's actually they get money. It's like no money spent, no price. Basically cancels transactions for you. Maybe a 10% fee, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Got to make money.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Almost, like a Kickstarter blocker. You know, like it just.
But I want to keep getting updates, though.
Yeah. I want to still be able to complain on the forum.
I want that update that's like, all right, now's the part you guys get to decide. Do you want the red backs or the black backs? And he's like,
it's just a random generator of phrases.
It doesn't matter. They're going to pick whatever they want anyway. Mm-hmm. They're going to say it's not going to be a public poll. So it's crazy. Xtreme, any other accessories you want to get into?
Measuring sticks, what we talked about earlier, but and you mentioned like stuff for like generic games. Like, so again, with War Machine, I had to get the officially licensed measuring sticks with the
mini ones were really cool though. The art on them and stuff.
They were super awesome, but I went a step further in that there's one Warcaster that is for my army, but also for a different army. Well, the artwork for her was on the other army sticks, so I had to go and buy their sticks so I could have the one for that and add it to my collection. But that led
we'll put this in your therapy book.
Yeah, Xtreme. I mean, I'm not trying to rank like how ridiculous we are, but you might be the worst of us with this.
Well, there's some OCD in there, isn't there? A little bit OCD in that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
I don't think you can be a very good painter without OCD.
When it comes to accessories, I probably am the worst of this group, I think.
But there's different levels of OCD. You're not a completist though. You don't have to have everything of every game you like.
Sometimes, but not always.
Well, how's your Rivet Wars collection? 100% yet?
Oh yeah, it's 100% plus.
Sure. Do you? I know you can't show it off. You're probably packed up now, but your storage for that. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. It's a Army footlocker, so it's a good size game. I have like 1,000 or so Rivet Wars miniatures in it. I'm planning on like doing more with footlocker. I want to do like some custom stuff inside, and I have the Rivet Wars map I'm going to print out on the inside, so it looks like a Rivet Wars footlocker.
Will you have the most complete Rivet Wars collection on the planet?
I mean, it'll be one of, if not the most.
Did they ever release mats? Because I wasn't a big fan of the cardboard tiles.
No, that was just the standard tiles. I do feel like if the game, well, it's not dead. A publisher could pick it up at this point, but if they did another tile pack, I think that would have been pretty awesome. Like snow-covered tiles.
Yeah,
or
a smat, maybe?
Well, stay tuned, Zlurpcast fans, for a future episode covering Rivet Wars. You might squeeze out a 4.5 from Xtreme. Not a 5, but a 4.5. You might. We'll find out.
Stay tuned.
Let's wrap this one up. You should probably Zlurp on that sub button, ring the bell, ding-a-ling. You know, it lets us know you like us. You really like us. Follow @Zlurpcast on all 3 social medias that are important. I don't care about, we don't have a TikTok channel now because I don't give a fuck about that. Don't need it. You should also join the Facebook group, the Zlurpcast discussion as well, and sign up to Zlurp Nation. Content inside emails. I don't sell your email. We send you extra stuff. Usually it's an extra video clip you only get if you get the Zlurp Nation emails. Sign up link is in the comments of this one. We'll talk to you guys next time. Everybody say bye.
Bye. Bye.
Zlurpcast! Brought to you by Nuffles. Bet you can't just roll a 1.